Hey guys, and does anybody remember Clue Land? No you don't, because if you did, you'd be dead!
The NES, one of the most revolutionary consoles and probably one of the most revolutionary pieces of technology. Sure, there were game consoles before this, but I mean...
The NES was the first console that mattered.
So many games bigger than anything released before then. Games like Mario, Zelda, Metroid, Kid Icarus, Kirby, and
it didn't become the biggest game ever?
For the NES to truly make a difference in the video game space and make video games popular again after the video game crash, Nintendo needed to do something special. So, Nintendo experimented more than they ever have before and ever since. They made so many new IPs, more than they ever did any other console generation. Like for the Switch 1, I think we got like 3 new IPs maybe? But here, we got tons of completely brand new experiences. And though some of them are good and became staples of gaming as a whole, but as many classics as there undoubtedly were, some series did not go past their NES ones. Now this could be because of a lack of market appeal, or in Duck Hunt's case,
Nintendo just decided they didn't give a damn.
Yep, Duck Hunt. One of, if not the most iconic NES game, selling millions of copies, only being second most successful to games like Mario Bros. 1, and it never went past the NES. That is weird. It has a basic shooting mode where you shoot, ducks. You also have another mode where you shoot frisbees.
Then why is it called Duck Hunt?
The game is iconic to say the least. However, there are still a lot of reasons why it's clear why we never got a sequel. For one, what the hell would that look like? Do you think Nintendo could sell a game that is a simple arcade shooter for $60 today?
I mean they could, but that's besides the point.
If you want to make a truly faithful sequel to this game, you'd basically be locking yourself out of wide market appeal since the price would be too high for what you'd be getting. No matter how you slice it, a simple arcade experience like the original Duck Hunt would be too much expensive for the average customer today and not be worth it. And if they tried to modernize it, that probably wouldn't be Duck Hunt. It would probably just be a generic duck hunting game at that point. However, another reason Nintendo probably won't touch this game with a 9-foot pole is what this game was sold with: a lethal weapon. This game came with the NES Zapper, a Lycan accessory. This allowed the game to be crazy realistic for the time, but nowadays, the Lycans not only don't work on modern TVs, they only worked on CRTs of the time. And on top of that, due to its difficulty to emulate, we hardly ever see it on Virtual Console services or NSO. The last time Duck Hunt was re-released was on the Wii U, a console that -5 people owned. The game is still iconic for sure, but its chances of us ever seeing it again are the same as me not buying it when it happens. Also, I might as well rate these games on a scale of 1 to 5 on how likely the series are to make a comeback. I'd give Duck Hunt a 3 out of 5. It's not completely out of the question, but like,
Come on.
another Lycan game is Hogan's Alley, and if Duck Hunt doesn't have a chance of coming back, Hogan's Alley is not coming back. In this game, you shoot stuff. Okay, I didn't even play this game for this video. I don't give a damn about Hogan's Alley. This game gets a 1 out of 5 for its chance of coming back, because if I wouldn't care, who would at that point? Moving away from the Lycan games to games most people can actually play, we have Clue Land. In this game, he plays this blimp-looking guy and spin on these poles and hit these gems to reveal a hidden picture.
And this didn't catch on?
This game is a weird one. It's not very fun at all. The game control is super weird, and it's damn near impossible to wrap your head around. And due to how NES games were sold back in the day with the black box formats,
I couldn't convince my parents to buy a Zelda game. How is any kid gonna convince their parents to buy them Clue Land?
due to this game not being a crazy success and also being Clue Land, the odds of this game coming back are 1 out of 5. Now, shifting away from a game that no one gives a damn about, let's talk about a game everyone gives a damn about.
Okay, I don't think everyone cared about Ice Climbers. I don't think Hitler was too fond of it.
In this game, you climb a mountain.
Then why is it called
Made of ice.
Oh.
This is another simple arcade game, but unlike Clue Land, this is actually important to gaming. This game does have a legacy with Smash Bros and such, and a lot of iconicness. Now, could it ever come back? I mean, if Nintendo really wanted to bring it back, it probably would have been back already. I mean, if it got a revival on the GameCube with Ice Climbers and Smash, that would have made so much sense, but nowadays, I'm not even sure if people care that Ice Climbers are in Smash. So I'd probably give this series probably a 2 out of 5 for its chances. Now let's go from a franchise with importance to one with not that.
Where's the overly gritty 2000s reboot? Come on.
In this game, you play pinball. It's just a pinball table. Is this even worth discussing? I mean, we could think of it like if Nintendo ever puts a pinball mode in a new game, then it's a series, but in that case, why am I even talking about this game? I mean, in terms if we'll ever see a game made by Nintendo just called Pinball 2, its chances are 0. Now for a game that actually has a decent chance, let's talk about Mach Rider, a classic NES racing game that's shockingly impressive for the time, almost kinda not really being 3D. It's really cool, just one problem. I suck so hard at this game, I just can't react to what's coming behind me. However, this game could come back. Unlike the vast majority of games on this list, I can easily imagine what a sequel would look like to this game. However, I feel like there is one problem. How Nintendo kinda already missed their shot, because this would have been perfect on the Wii U. Think about it. You could have the back view on the gamepad and the rest of the gameplay on the TV. It would have been perfect. This game is also said to inspire F-Zero, but sadly F-Zero didn't learn from this game and now it's dead too. I would give this game only a 2 out of 5 to come back, mainly because its best chance is already gone. But finally, I want to cover 2 games I think not only could come back, but I genuinely want back. Let's start with the least likely of the two, Joy Mech Fight.
I give this a chance, but I only give Mach Rider a 2? What's wrong with me?
In this game, you select one of 8 robots and you battle it out. And it's crazy fun. For an NES fighting game, it all works shockingly well. More than you would initially think. Despite only having 2 whole buttons to work with, the game makes the most of the setup and controls near perfectly. For most games in this video, I play them for around 10 minutes each. For NES games, especially like Duck Hunt, that's more than enough time to devote to them. However, for this game, I played it for nearly just an hour plowing through the story mode. This game is something crazy special. However, even though out of all the games here I want this back the most, I still don't think it has the best shot, mainly due to the fact it never got translated in English, since it never saw a full release here. However, due to the character appearing in Smash and having a decent cult fanbase, I'm gonna give it a well-deserved 4 out of 5. Next, however, is one game I can guarantee you will come back any day now, and that is the mysterious Murasame Castle, another Japanese-only game. However, this game feels like it should be the biggest of deals. It feels so much like a more arcadey version of the OG Legend of Zelda, and it's amazing. The game is shockingly fast-paced for the time, and honestly, it doesn't feel like it's aged too poorly. The game also, despite being only in Japanese, is pretty easy to understand even with the language barrier, making it pretty accessible. So whenever Nintendo decides to re-release this game on the Western market with NSO and stuff, it's still playable to this day. However, there is one piece of information that really cements this as a franchise most likely to make a comeback. And that's how Nintendo wants it back. Not only have many employees at Nintendo expressed interest in bringing it back, with many of them at least wanting a full remake of the game, and when you remake a game from this long ago, you're basically making a full-on new game. The game also makes tons of appearances in other games like Smash Bros, Nintendo Land, even third-party games like Samurai Warriors 3 feature the main character. I would give this franchise a 5 out of 5. It may not happen soon, but trust me, it will. And if I'm wrong, I'll eat a sock.
And you may think if I lose that bet, that's a huge loss, but joke's on you, I eat socks every day, watch.